developing countries to help people start their own businesses. Now, a 20-minute portion of a newscast from the Middle East Broadcasting Center located in Dubai in the United Arab Emirates. It reports on Monday night's terrorist attack in Saudi Arabia and the Iranian president's visit to Lebanon. This was recorded today at 2 p.m. Eastern.
From MBC, Evening News. Al-Qaeda, speaking about committed element carried out the explosions in Saudi. The number of victims reach approximately 100. Bush is calling to revive the anti-terrorism coalition. Dear audience, welcome to the news from MBC. The Al-Qaeda organization under the leadership of Osama bin Laden, and according to several sources and statements followed up upon by MBC, confirmed his responsibility on the explosions in Saudi Arabia, in Riyadh. He called the perpetrators committed elements and the targets as legitimate targets. Approximately 100 people died in these attacks in residential complexes inhabited by foreigners in the Saudi capital Riyadh. The Crown Prince bin Abdulaziz visited the locations and the hospitals. Also Colin Powell, the American State Department Secretary, visited both the locations and the hospitals. Prince Abdullah bin Abdulaziz, the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, visited the locations in Al-Fanil complex, one of the three locations of the explosions in Riyadh. The Prince visited also the King Fahd Hospital in Riyadh and met with the injured. The health minister also visited the victims in different hospitals. The health condition of the injured ones, thank Allah, are all good. It's all simple, nothing dangerous. How about the death? Yes, there are deaths. How many nationalities? What nationalities? Different nationalities. Mr. Minister, concerning the death, are they going to be buried here or overseas? I think this is going to be between the Foreign Ministry and the Interior Ministry. What are the types of injuries that you have witnessed? Different injuries. Some of it are simple, some of them cuts, some of them are broken bones, but so far all the ones that I saw were okay. Are they in a hospital or left? Yes, there are few still. All of them left except three. The Interior Ministry in a statement said that the number of casualties are 3 casualties in Riyadh yesterday are 20 people, and the number of injured persons are 194 persons. In Al-Hamra complex, 10 died, 2 children, 4 Saudis, 2 Filipinos, 1 Lebanese, and 1 Swiss. The young man that died is not a relative, but he's a dear friend, very close to us. This is an ugly crime. Bad spot, black spots in the history of Islam and Saudi Arabia. You don't expect it to happen in a secure, safe country like Saudi Arabia. Those people carried foreign passports, but they are Muslims. They are Arabs. So what they have done? Nothing. May Allah forgive them. Those who died in the second explosion in Ashbilia are 2 Saudis. As those who died in the Fanil complex, there are 8 persons, 7 Americans and 1 Saudi. Actually, I was sleeping and I heard the bullets noise, and I looked at the window, and there was bullets in the air. So I went back and I screamed at them to to go down on the floor. After 3 or 5 minutes, we heard explosion. The Interior Ministry, Saudi Interior Ministry, said that there were 9 bodies completely burned, and they think it is the bodies of the terrorists. Removing the debris is continuous. The security apparatuses are in place, trying to solve all the details of these 3 explosions that shook Riyadh. Fahd Al-Hamoud, MBC, Riyadh. The American president called for a cooperation all over the world to confront terrorism, and he said that Washington and Riyadh will confront those ones and find them. Aziz Fahmi from Washington. The American President George Bush on Tuesday condemned the suicide attacks that led to the killing of more than 90 people, among them at least 10 Americans. Today's attack in Saudi Arabia and the killing of civilians, American and other nationalities, remind us that the war against terrorism is still continuous. The United States will find the cowards perpetrators and will punish them. Colin Powell also confirmed the cooperation between the 2 governments in the investigation. Khalil Dahshan in Washington said that these incidents will represent a new challenge to the American-Saudi relation. Of course, there will be elements in the United States against the Arabs, against Saudi Arabia, that will try to use this new incidents to entice against the kingdom. But there are people inside and outside also, and I expect them to try to use this problem maybe to revive the diplomatic fall down between the 2 countries. Once more, the anti-war voices are raised because it affects negatively the war against terrorism. Aziz Fahmi, MBC, Washington. With me now from Riyadh, Fahd Al-Hamoud, our reporter from Riyadh. It seems there is contradiction about the numbers of the victims. What are the latest numbers? Yes, there are contradictions regarding numbers of victims, but the most important figures are the ones issued by the Saudi Interior Ministry. The number of dead people are 20 people. The number of the injured people are 194. These are the injured distributed on 3 locations. Also, the statement by the Interior Ministry that was issued a few hours ago declared that these injuries and death are in the 3 locations. Actually, in 10 dead in Al-Hamra complex, 2 children from Jordan died, 4 Saudis, 2 Filipinos actually, and 1 Lebanese and 1 from Switzerland. The second explosion, it was in the Ishbilia camp. 2 Saudi died, and also regarding the people who died in the Fenil complex, there were 8 people. So I think the accurate figures are coming out of the Interior Ministry. So how can you describe, Fahd, the shock in the Saudi streets? There is no doubt that these explosions shook the feelings of the citizens and the residents in Riyadh and all over the kingdom. No matter how many times these explosions happened, it's still, we still, that they say that the Saudi society is considered these explosions unnatural, and it does not go with the Islamic traditions and the Sharia, and also does not go along with the nature of the Saudi citizen and the character of the Saudi citizen of being generous to their visitors or anyone who lives within their borders, whether Arab or foreign. And I'm sure those people who died have contracts with the Saudi government. They are here legally to work. Therefore, they are considered guests on the kingdom. And I noticed today when we moved from one location to the other, a high level of anger by the Saudi people against what happened last night, these explosions. And also I noticed desperation and sadness of those who lives within these complexes. We met with people, several of them, and they expressed their sorrow for what happened because of the children and the women. What they have done, nothing. So there was anger and still anger, pain in the Saudi street. Thank you, Fahad Lahmoud from Riyadh. And also I have Dr. Abdullah Abdel Mohsen al-Turki, the General Secretary of the Islamic Country Association. Doctor, do you think these actions are legitimate? Of course not. These are completely against Islam. And those who carried it do not have any faith in their heart. In the Quran, in Al-Sunnah, it is forbidden completely. It is illegitimate. It is hated. It goes along with the war against Islam and those who wants to destroy the image of Islam. And the enemies of Islam are happy with these actions. Our society is Muslim, safe, apply the Sharia of Islam, and there is high level of awareness and cooperation between the citizens and the leadership to destroy the enemy's goals. If we look at the Quran, it says, meaning that if one killed other Muslim, he will never see heaven and he will be tortured forever. This verse by itself should put the fear in the heart of these people. So how come they try to kill innocent people, Muslim people, and even those who are not Muslims? They came to this country based on legal agreements, and those who kills them are also not Muslims, and it's against Islam. These people here came legally, they came peacefully, they are living in our country, and they did not commit anything against Muslims. And those people should not attack, whether they are Muslims or not, they should not attack them. And we condemn these operations based on Islam, which is our constitution. And we condemn it based on our traditions, the traditions of the Saudi kingdom, which is a peaceful place and secure place. And this is considered fight against Allah and against the Rasul. And it should be confronted and fought. As it was mentioned in the Quran, meaning those who fight against the Prophet and Allah, they should be cut their hands and crucified. And destroyed completely out of the earth, and they will be tortured on earth and in everlasting life. We condemn them, and we think it is odd and does not belong to our society, and we're confident of our leadership, our security apparatuses, and we are confident of the Muslim people of Saudi Arabia, and they are against these things. And they are very determined to cooperate with the security forces and with the leadership and with any other entity, even outside the kingdom. The Saudi kingdom have good positions internationally against terrorism, and they are confronting the terrorists in the international arenas and international organizations, or even through security agreements with other governments. Our leadership, our people, our institutions are all against terrorism, and we condemn it. It is strange to our society. It's not according to Al-Sharia, and it shows that those people are completely against Islam, and they abandon the true path of faith, the true faith that call for goodness. Thank you, Dr. Abdullah bin Abdel Mohsen al-Turki, the General Secretary of the Islamic World Association. The world is condemning the operations. President Putin of Russia, attacked these operations and said that this is done by the same people who did the Chechnya operations. With me from London, on the phone, Yasser Al-Sirri, the head of the Islamic Media Watch Center in London. Welcome, Mr. Yasser. Welcome. What do you think about what they say about the responsibility of Al-Qaeda about this attacks? Until now, there is not one single statement issued by Al-Qaeda that adopt this work. But in general, we can say that those who carried this work is sympathizers, and they want Americans out of Saudi Arabia and the Gulf region, and maybe they belong to Al-Qaeda, but there is a problem now in communication between these people and the leadership, so maybe they planned and carried the operations and this work without connection or direct contact with the leadership. It could be that they are a group that agree in principles and opinions with Al-Qaeda, not necessarily members of Al-Qaeda. The work itself is considered, whether it's done by Al-Qaeda or sympathizers of Al-Qaeda, is targeting the American presence in the area. And we cannot, under any circumstances, that they are targeting other Muslims. Whether they were killed accidentally in these operations. Al-Qaeda does not differentiate between civilians and military Americans, because the civilians are there to lend logistical support to the American forces. And therefore, we should get them out of the Arabian Peninsula. So until now, we can say that those who carried the work are those people like-minded with the organization, but there is not one official statement. Thank you, Yasser Al-Sirri in London. After this break, thousands of victims in Al-Hilla and outside Basra. Al-Hakim in Najaf. We agreed with the opposition to combine Islam and secularism government in one government. Welcome once more. The Iraqi National Council members discovered in Al-Halla city in the middle of Iraq last week mass graves contains 15,000 corpses described as the victims of the previous Iraqi regime. In Al-Basra also discovered a new mass grave with 150 bodies considered victims of the Iraqi regime and killed by the Iraqi regime. In Najaf, Muhammad Baqir al-Hakim, the head of the Islamic Revolution, said that his movement, who called for the new Islamic Republic, agreed with the opposition that they will have a combined government that respects the Islamic Sharia. After the break, Nasrallah said, I did not discuss with Khatami seize of any operation in South Lebanon. The Arab leaders in Israel criticized the new arrests inside Israel. Welcome once more. The Iranian President Mohammad Khatami in Beirut declared his objection to any escalation in the Middle East and rejected in his speech in Arabic in front of 50,000 Lebanese, most of them are Shiite, rejected that his country will be a part of destabilizing in the area. He called for an international system based on morals and science to get rid of what he called darkness. Khatami met with the General Secretary of Hezbollah, Mr. Nasrallah, who confirmed that he did not discuss with him anything about seizing operations in South Lebanon. In Jerusalem, the heads of Arabic parties in Israel criticize the arrest of Ra'id Salah, the head of the Islamic movement, along with 13 of his assistants. The Israeli security forces became very irritated this afternoon after the arrest of the Islamic leader inside Israel, of Sheikh Hakim. And the accusation against him and his organization of laundering money to Hamas and Islamic Jihad, and building relation and obtaining money that might be traced to Al-Qaeda and Hezbollah. These unprecedented accusation could blow in the face of the Israeli security forces or the Islamic, if it was proved, Islamic movement. We are working legally with legal entities all over the world, and these entities are legal and have license. We are an Islamic movement. We belong to a greater Islamic project. We are Muslims, we are Arabs, we are Palestinians. We live on our land and our country and our nation inside the state of Israel. All these are lies in order to enforce a certain policy drawn by the Israeli government to break the Islamic movement. Israel started a new battle against Palestinian citizens. Especially that this relation is already deteriorating. This military campaign that was carried this morning was very unique and unusual. I told you I was sleeping. And I cannot even talk to you. I have a dry mouth. I opened the door and all of them, not one, not two, all of them came inside the house and he said, they scared us. What do you want? What is going on? And I told you we are here to search the house of Sheikh Raad. This wave will increase the confrontation between Israel and the Palestinian citizens inside Israel, especially after the killing of 13 of them on the hands of the Israeli police in October 2000. Qasim Khatib, MBC, Al-Fahm.
Tomorrow on C-SPAN 2, Prime Minister's Question Time from the British House of Commons. That's where members of Parliament can ask Tony Blair about his government.